Today on Hopped Up Beer Review, we are going to be trying Delirium Nocturnum from Huyghe Brewery out of No, Belgium. Thanks for joining us. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer we are drinking and reviewing. Search the internet and YouTube the world over. You are not going to find another show that lays it out just like that, hopefully. Be sure to like, subscribe, and cheers that notification bell. Check us out on social media. Links are below. I've got Jay, I've got Andy in a different part of the attic. There is more than just one space in this attic, which is really cool. Attic tours are still in effect at this point in time. Gentlemen, what are we drinking today?
So we're going over to Belgium, and we're going to have some of the Delirium Nocturnum from the Huyghe Brewery. Belgium, I believe, is what we determined.
I think that'll get you there.
You know, this is one I think all of us may have had in the past, but it's very unique. They come in the very nice clay bottles. So let's crack this and get going. I'm sure Andy's got a history lesson for us.
Small little history lesson.
I'm
crikey.
super excited for this one.
Son of a...
And Andy's beer was super excited itself. So
mine was too. Let's do
all right, gentlemen.
Grab the head off of it.
We're gonna have to interrupt for a second.
And we are back. We had a little bit of a cleanup on aisle 3 there for Andy. So, but he's got that all taken care of. It looks like he lost a fair amount of beer there, which is actually a shame. And this is definitely not one of those that you would want to lose any of, I think. But
traveled the world to get to you, Andy. And gosh.
Yeah. But nonetheless, we are back to do what we do here. So with that, let's get going. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. It has been a while since I've had that.
Yeah, so I was trying to think back when the last time I had it, and it may have been my last trip to New York, which has been about 3 years. But it has been a while, and I don't know that I've ever actually had it out of the clay bottles.
Really?
I've had it on draft a few times, but I don't know that I've ever actually bought the bottles. So I don't see them that often here in Mississippi.
Yeah, I've got a little market that sells it. I've been up in Memphis and purchased it at a beer store there before. But this is a Belgian strong dark ale, 8.5%, 24 IBUs. So it's got a little caramel mocha chocolate kind of aroma to it. And then on their website, they actually say you can detect some notes of licorice and coriander. But
can you?
No, I'm like, maybe a little licorice.
My palate is not that refined.
Neither am I, but it smells them, but that tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes really good. So this was the first time I did the New York City Marathon in 2013. Well, no, that was actually 2018 when I ran it the second time. We went straight to a bar, me and two of my buddies, and this was the beer that the winner out of the three of us ordered for a round, and it was on I think they had it on draft there, which was amazing. So fantastic beer.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of the Delirium beers, sprinkled around the city, or at least you would when I lived there. You don't find it at every stop, but you'll definitely see it. And typically places that have it advertise that they do either by the sign out on the street or something in the window. It's very common to see the pink elephant around the city. So
well, it was my first introduction to it, and I was very pleased that Michael introduced us to it. So
their signature beer is the Delirium Tremens, and that's the lighter one. Well, lighter in color. Yeah, it's still 8.5% itself. But the Delirium brand started. So Tremens, I think it was 1988. The Nocturnum they did not start producing until 1999. The pink elephant that is associated with Delirium began in 1989, but it's out of this place in this mill, Belgium. It's just one. Delirium is just one of the brands. There's like 4 main brands of this brewery. This Huyghe, they call him Brewery Huyghe. That started in 1925. This guy named Leon Huyghe. He was already working at this brewery on the premises, and then he eventually purchased it. He went from worker and eventually purchased it. So there had been an existing brewery on that same location since 1654.
Wow.
So,
do we know
that's what you get on the bottle?
Yeah. Do we know the significance of the pink elephant?
Couldn't find that. Why they did that, but I mean, it's you see that pink elephant, you associate it with Delirium.
Yeah, well, my buddies they loved it too because they're big Alabama fans, and I was like, it doesn't matter, they're not associated.
I was about to say, it's pink, it's not gray.
Yeah, I think I did not know that it'd only been around for such a short time. I mean, I think just maybe this is an American thing. You see something like this, you get the 1654 on the bottle. You see it comes from Belgium. You think this has been around forever.
The cool clay bottle. It's like, oh yeah, the old school method. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I mean that's just I guess the way I tend to see things, and especially in the beer world, right? I mean everything about this says classic. And then to hear that it's only 30 or so years old, is interesting.
They're great at marketing, because because the cap was covered with foil, so it's like although Jesus, Michelob would cover their caps with foil, so what am I saying?
Yeah. All right. Any other nerd out information that we have that has been left out at this point?
No, just back to old Andy.
All right.
Attic Andy.
Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, well, let's go around and rate this. So we've all had it, right? I think we established that. So, with that, Jay, why don't you go first?
Yeah. Like I said, I've always really liked it. It got introduced to me about 5 years. It's got those thick notes like Andy talked about, some of the caramels, the heavy. It's not something I can sit here and drink multiple of, but if you're just having one or two, this is a great example of a great Belgian beer, in my opinion. I'm going to rate it right at a 7.5.
I'll go next because I'm always making everybody else go. I agree with you. I think it's a really good beer. It's definitely get a lot of flavor out of it, and it's one of those, we've talked about other beers like this where almost any sip you take, you can kind of touch on something else, or you pick up on a different note. And I think that's just the sign of a really good beer with a lot of great flavor. And I think that like Jay said, it's one that you're going to have probably one of and move on to something else. But it's really, really good. I'm going to go with an 8. I really like this one.
Yeah, Jay, I can't imagine running 26.2 miles and then
That's if you run the tangents, Andy. Come on now.
and then drinking this, I would just kind of melt into the floor there. I mean, it's yeah, that would probably be a good post beer. Did y'all have anything else? Was this your first beer?
It was the first beer afterwards. So I mean, it and I had to Ben, you'll get a laugh out of this one. You know, the marathon finishes right there in Central Park, and you literally have to walk almost a mile to get out of Central Park after the marathon. So even after you're done, you know, you're not with your friends, family. So the intent was to meet them at the bar that we chose to go to afterwards. Well, traffic was just gridlocked. So I think I ended up paying like $300 for a bike taxi to get me there. But that guy was awesome. I mean, he bobbed and weaved in between traffic, and he got us there in like less than 10 minutes. It was kind of scary, but it was well worth it.
Good, great. Yeah, I'm so on the fence on this one. I like it. And it's like, do I want to give it a higher score than what, you know?
Just go for it, Andy.
I'm going to give it an 8.0. I think I may have given it higher in the past, but it's kind of a little more alcohol taste to it, to take it to like an 8.5. I think I don't want to taste the alcohol so strongly out of it, but all those other flavors are coming through, and it's got that full Belgium taste. But I just kind of get that little, almost like a barrel aged taste out of it. So I think it goes, even though, you know, it's that Belgian strong ale is going to be like that, but 8.0 for me.
That will give us a 7.8 for the Delirium Nocturnum. All in all, really good beer. Definitely check it out if you get the chance to. I know we have enjoyed it, and go find you some Delirium and give it a shot and let us know what you think. Be sure to like and subscribe and cheers that notification bell. That just gives us a little boost here that you guys are enjoying what we're doing and the videos that we're putting out. Again, I think we've said this before, we're still going to do them even if you don't. Just means I guess you don't have to watch them. But to that point, also check us out on social media. For Jay, Andy in the attic, I am Ben. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.